Hi, welcome back to Cut Home. It's Amanda here with today's tutorial on how to make this really cute bear applique. A lovely pattern, quite easy to follow. I'll try and do it step by step to make it as simple and easy to follow as I can. And a lovely quick project for the more advanced crocheters. And for this project I shall be using double knit yarn I'm going to use light grey. Obviously you can use whatever colour you'd like your teddy to be. And I should be using double knit yarn for the embroidery of his nose and mouth, and a double knit white to make the muzzle. And throughout the whole project I should be using my 3mm hook, but by all means if you prefer to use a 4mm with your double knit, go ahead. It will just make your bear applique slightly bigger, so whichever you prefer. You'll also need a tapestry needle for sewing in the ends, a pair of sharp scissors, your sewing thread and needle, and of course some black beads for the eyes. If you prefer to, you can embroider the eyes or use safety eyes. I just prefer to use the beads on my work, and these are 6mm beads which I purchased from eBay, and I'll pop a link in the description below. Okay, so let's begin. So let's take our grey yarn, or whatever colour you'd like to use to make your bear, and we're going to begin today's project with the magic ring. I have done a separate tutorial on this where I demonstrate this very slowly, and again I can pop this in the link below if you're new to the magic ring or magic circle. Some people call it different things. I'll just do a very quick recap for you of how I do it. So take my yarn, wrap it across my fingers, across the top, bringing the yarn around the back of my fingers, back around the top to form a cross. I'm just going to change the angle of this camera slightly so you can see a bit better. Okay, so yarn over the top of my fingers, I'm bringing the yarn around the back of my fingers, back across the top to form a cross. And I'm going to pop my crochet hook underneath the first yarn and pull the top yarn underneath the bottom yarn. Okay, so it gives you a loop. Just pinch the top of the loop, pull the yarn slightly and chain one, and that just secures the ring, and this tail end will pull close, so at the end of the project you won't be left with a big hole in your work. Okay, I just prefer to use this method. I find it leaves a nice finish of my work at the end. So we've done our chain one. In today's project I am going to be using US terminology, and I'm going to be using half double crochet for this project. If you're unsure of the US terminology and are used to using UK terminology, again I have done a separate video on how to do the US version of the UK crochet terminology, if that helps. Again, I should pop a link below, so feel free to have a look at that, but I will go through it step by step as well, so don't worry. Okay, so we've done our chain one, and now we're going to place 10 half double crochet into our magic ring. So for our half double crochet, we're going to wrap the yarn around our hook, pop the hook through the center of the ring, pull our yarn through. So we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and that's our half double crochet in our US terminology. Okay, so we need to repeat that again. So yarn over, hook into the center of our magic ring, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on our hook. Okay, I'll show you again. So yarn over our hook, pop our hook through the center of our work, pull the yarn through. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. So we now have 3 half double crochet. So we'll repeat this until we have our 10 half double crochet. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can pull your tail end slightly if you need to keep it a bit closed. 9, and should be 10. We'll just count back to make sure we have 10 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Perfect. So to finish this round, we're going to pop a slip stitch into our first stitch that we made, our first half double crochet. So we pop our yarn through the stitch, pull the yarn through. Okay, we have 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to pop the top loop underneath the second loop, and that finishes round 1. You can pull the tail end if you like, and it just closes that circle slightly. So for round 2, we are going to chain 1, and this time we're going to do an increase, and we're going to pop 2 half double crochets, so the same stitch as we used in the previous round, but this time we're going to pop 2 into each of our stitches that we made, giving us a stitch count of 20 at the end of this round. So we're going to be working into the same stitch that we just joined into, so don't go to the next stitch, otherwise you're going to end up with 18 stitches at the end. So yarn over, back into that same stitch, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Okay, and another one in exactly the same stitch, because we're increasing, so we need to place 2 half double crochets into each stitch around. Okay, so that's our 2 half double crochets in the one stitch. Okay, and let's repeat that all the way around till we have our stitch count of 20. Let's get some more yarn. That's a bit tight. Okay. There we go, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, oops, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and the last one, 20. Okay, so again, just like to count back just to make sure I haven't missed one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So again, as in the previous round, we're going to join with a slip stitch to our very first half double crochet that we made. So hook through, pull the yarn through, 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to pop the top loop underneath the second loop. Okay. If you're finding it quite tricky with the 3mm hook with this double knit yarn, by all means you can use a 4mm hook to practice with, or if you don't mind your bare applique coming out bigger, then you could do the whole project with a 4mm. It's just for this size, I just prefer to use the 3mm. So for our next round, we're going to chain 1, and this time we're going to pop our 2 half double crochets into the first stitch and 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, so working into that same stitch, not into that next one, we are going to pop our first half double crochet, followed by our second half double crochet. So you should at this point now have 2 half double crochets into the one stitch, your very first stitch. Then we're going to pop 1 half double crochet into the next stitch and 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. Okay, 1 half double crochet into the next, 2 half double crochets into the next. Okay, 1 half double crochet into the next, 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and we're going to continue working in this pattern of 2 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet all the way around until we get to the end of the round, and I shall meet you there. So I'm just coming up to the end of this round now. I'm just going to pop in my last half double crochet, And again, to join this round, we're just going to pop a slip stitch into the very first stitch, the half double crochet that we made. By all means count backwards, and on this round we should have 30 stitches. So let's just check before we finish our round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 and 30. So perfect. So we can now join this round again with a slip stitch. And that completes round 3. So for the next round we're going to chain 1 and we're going to pop 2 half double crochets again into the first stitch. So remember to work into the same stitch that we slip stitch into, not the next stitch. So we finished on a stitch count of 30 and we're going to pop our hook into that same stitch and again 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. And for the next 2 stitches we're just going to pop 1 half double crochet into each stitch. So 1 half double crochet and 1 half double crochet. Into the next stitch 2 half double crochet, and into the next 2 stitches will be 1 half double crochet. Oops, let's come off. 1 half double crochet. So you can see the pattern that's emerging for this round is your 2 half double crochets in the same stitch, then 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets in the same stitch, 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet. So we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around and I shall join you at the end. Okay, so I'm just finishing the end of this round. I've got 2 more half double crochets left to do, so I'll just pop those in. So that's 1 and the last one there. Okay, so to finish this round as before, we're going to just pop a slip stitch into our first half double crochet, and at the end of this round you should have 40 stitches. Okay, so I'm just going to pop my slip stitch in to finish that round. Okay, so you can see now we have the face of our teddy. So we're just going to cut this yarn off now, ready to make the ears. So just pull the yarn through to finish and tighten just to secure the face. Now from the ears we're going to count 6 stitches from where we just finished off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to pop our hook into that 6th stitch along from where we fastened off, and we're going to join our grey yarn again to make the ear. So attach your yarn however you prefer to join, and we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to place 6 half double crochet, so the same stitch as we were doing before, 6 half double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, so we'll just place those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one, some more yarn, 6. Okay, so you had your chain 2, then we have 6 half double crochets into the same stitch, and to finish we're going to chain 2 and slip stitch back into the exact same stitch. So for the whole ear is worked in 1 stitch, you see. Okay, and that's the first ear done. So we'll just cut the yarn, wrap the yarn around our hook and pull through to finish, and pull slightly just to secure. Okay, so that's our first ear done. So that was where we fastened off from our last round of the face, and then we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we worked into that 6th stitch. Okay, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to work into this stitch. Okay, so I'll just get my yarn. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and join your yarn join however you prefer to join your yarn, and again chain 2, okay, and 6 half double crochets into the same stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and as we did before, 2 chain and slip stitch back into that same stitch, so everything is worked into the one stitch. Fasten off our yarn over and pull through. I'll just give that little tug just to secure. Okay, so there you can see we have the beginnings of our teddy bear. So now we're going to make the muzzle. To begin our muzzle, I'm going to take the white yarn now, and again I'm going to start with that magic ring. Okay, and just chain 1 to secure your magic ring. Now to make the muzzle, we're going to be doing 15 double crochet into the center of our circle. Okay, remembering it's US terminology, so I'll show you step by step how we do the double crochet using US terminology. So yarn around your hook, pop your hook into the center, pull the yarn through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, leaves you 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so yarn over, hook through the center of your circle, pull your yarn through, giving you 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, leaving 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's your first 2 double crochet of your muzzle. So we continue until we have 15 double crochet. So I'll just show you again. Yarn over, hook through the center, pull your yarn through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So we now have 3 double crochet into our magic ring. So continue until you have 15 double crochet, and I shall meet you at the end of this round. So I've just finished sewing in all my ends, so it's tidy on the back of the applique and on the back of the muzzle. I've sewn in the ends there. So to apply the muzzle, place on your bear where you feel you would like the muzzle, whether you'd like it in the centre, whether you'd like it further down. I like mine just below centre, but place yours wherever you feel you would like the muzzle to be, and just hold in or pin in. If you have a pin and you prefer to pin the muzzle in place, that's absolutely fine. And then all we're going to do with our tapestry needle is to sew the muzzle. So we just sew the muzzle on, and then we can embroider the nose and the mouth. So just sew the muzzle on. I just like to go in and out of every stitch just so you know the muzzle is nice and secure. It's not going to fall off or have any gaps around the edges. So keep going all the way to where we started. Okay, which I think, oops, got round his ear, which I think is there, yes. Okay, so that's my muzzle now embroidered. So I'm just going to fasten this yarn off on the back. So I'm just going to do a slight knot to secure there. And I'm just going to weave in my end so you can't see it. And then just cut that yarn. We don't need that anymore. That's the muzzle. That's the muzzle complete. Okay, and now we're ready to embroider the nose and mouth. Okay, so now we get to the fun part where we can embroider our bear's nose. So for this I'm just going to cut off a length of black double knit yarn. Take our embroidery needle, so we have the larger eye, the one we use for sewing in our ends would be great. So I'm just going to thread the needle, there we go. And how I like to embroider the nose is I like to go through the back of the bear and up through the centre of the magic ring that we made when we made the muzzle. So I'll just pull that through, and that way we know we're in the centre. And then I'm just going to take the yarn to one edge of the muzzle, okay, and then I'm going to just take the needle up through the back to the opposite corner to where we came up on this side, and we're going to take the yarn across the top. I'm going to go back up through the centre of the muzzle and just take the yarn across to join that corner there. Okay, so that looks like a nice beginnings of our nose. And then we're simply for this part just going to embroider into the middle section just to fill in the gap. So for this I'm just going to go again up through the centre and across to the top of our nose. Okay, so you can see that's starting to fill in already, and we'll just continue this until the whole of the nose is filled in by just going up through that middle section of the muzzle just to keep it in the middle. That way we know we're working in the centre, and just keep going. Oh, nearly there, until you're happy that it's filled in. I think I've just got a couple more left to do on this one, and I'll be happy with this nose. Okay, so I'm happy with how that's looking for the top of the nose. So for the next part I'm going to bring my yarn again up through the centre of the muzzle where we started. Okay, and to make the line I'm just going to pull the yarn down to where I want it centred. Just going to pop a little bit of pressure on there just so it doesn't move, and then take the yarn through the bottom there. Oops. Okay, so you can see we've got the nose and the line there. We're just going to do the mouth, so you can just take it up slightly one side depending on what expression you'd like your bear to have. I'm going to have a happy expression on my bear, so I'm going to do one there, and it's going to make a V the side of this line that we created. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, there we go, happy with that. So we've got the nose and we've made the line down the centre, and we've done our V for our face, and then I'm just going to turn that over now and fasten this off. Just going to cut my yarn there first, and I'm just going to tie a knot on the back just to secure with the tail end, and the end we've just cut. And then I'm going to rethread my needle and just securely sew those ends through the back, so that makes it nice and secure. There we go. Just cut my yarn. You have to excuse my really big scissors today. We popped to visit my daughter yesterday. She's in Stratford. It was her 21st birthday, and I had a lot of orders, so I took my crochet with me to do in the car. My husband was driving and I dropped my scissors down the side of my seat and I'm yet to find them. So please excuse my humongous scissors. Not the scissors I would normally use or advise you to use. They're just in my craft room and handy, so that's why I use those. Wouldn't normally use them. Anyway, so now we've got the muzzle and the nose complete, it's just time to pop the eyes on. So again, for this part, if you haven't got any beads, as I said, you can embroider the eyes with the black yarn that we just used for the nose. If you have got some beads, we just now cut a yarn of cotton thread and place our beads. So I like to just pop them just to the sides of the nose. I find they work really well if you just kind of angle up slightly. So I'm just going to pop one here. But of course you can pop the eyes closer together or wider apart, however you'd like your bear's expression to be. There's no right or wrong. I've made quite a few of these bears now and I've just found my own little way. Oh, there we go. So you can see as one eye. I'll just pop the other one just here. Okay, just embroider those on. Okay, I'm just going to go through a couple of times just to make sure they're secure. Okay, and then just turn the bear over and fasten your cotton. So I just like to tie a couple of knots just to make sure they're fully secure. Of course, if you wanted to use safety eyes, you could do. That's always an option as well. Okay, let's tie one more knot in the back there, I'm happy with that. I'm getting my gigantic scissors once more. I'm just going to carefully snip that off. And there we have our gorgeous teddy applique. So I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial with me today. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for future crochet tutorials.